All right, class. First off, as always, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Bloody Mary and the Jesuits. All right. Now, again, like I've said before in the other videos, if you don't have the packet, you can use lined paper to take your notes. Just make sure that you put down warm-up notes. When the question comes up, put the question, answer, so that way I can see um, what you put down. Okay, and it helps me out to see the flow of things. All right, so without further ado, let us begin. All right, so here is your warm-up picture. Now, the first question is always, I've always asked, is what do you see? All right, look at the picture, really analyze it, look in the foreground, the backgrounds, look all around. What do you see? All right, so go ahead and make a list of things that you see in this picture. Okay. Now, the second question is, what do you think is going on? Okay, so look at it again, analyze it, and based off what you've seen in this whole picture, what do you think is going on? All right, so if you remember from last video, Edward VI, who was the only son of Henry VIII, basically wasn't that great of a king, that great of a leader. And there was a lot of people opposing him. They were like, this guy sucks. We can get a better king and things like that. And so people kind of like, well, who do we go to? And there was one person who basically was strong enough and could take the brunt of being a king or queen, and that was Henry VIII's firstborn child, which was Mary. Now, Mary took over in 1553, and the thing is, if you remember from the last video, the mother, Catherine of Aragon, she was a Catholic. So was Henry VIII at the beginning, if you remember, and then he broke off from the church when they wouldn't give him a divorce. Um, but Mary was born into the Catholic faith, and she was very, very much a practicing Catholic. Now, the thing is, she wanted to restore the Roman Catholic Church into England once again, make it a Catholic country. Um, Now, the thing is, there are some people in England who are like, no, we don't like that. Because they kind of didn't like what the Catholic Church was doing. And if you remember from a couple videos before, when the Catholic Church was basically telling you, oh yeah, you can actually pay for your sins, and you know, and if you pay the money, the Catholic Church money, you can go to heaven. Um, that really, 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 really ticked off a lot of people, and they're like, I thought the whole point of the religion was to have faith, to practice, to um, to say your prayers and things like that, and then you could save not only your soul but the souls of your family members, ancestors, things like that. Um, but since the Catholic Church was, no, you have to pay. If you pay, you can do that. Yeah, you can pray, but if you pay, you got one-way ticket, buddy. Good job. And so a lot of residents, a lot of people of England didn't like that. And so when she was like, we're going to go back to the Catholic Church, some of her subjects were like, no. Um, so in retaliation, she punished them. And she basically burned 300 Protestants as heretics. Again, heretics are basically non believers. So she burned them. All right. Now, word spread how she was. And she got the nickname Bloody Mary because they said she was bloodthirsty. She had a taste for blood, and she was after it. She, was the puppet of the church, and Basically, it was her way or the highway, and you know, and with that, the people became more Protestant because instead of scaring them, in a sense, they retaliated by more people becoming Protestant. Um, and then by the end of her reign, the end of her time, there was a lot more Protestants than there was at the beginning. Um, who knows? Maybe she did the burning of the 300 to try to scare them from being Protestant, but it backfired. Okay, so thing is, I don't want to have this image of Bloody Mary as just like that. She's a bloodthirsty woman, things like that. Oh, she's the only one who did that type of stuff. Because the truth is, she wasn't. Her father, Henry VIII, and her half sister, Elizabeth I, they persecuted and executed people themselves. All right, they didn't just they weren't squeaky clean. They killed people for religion as well. Henry VIII, he killed 81 people he felt were uh, unfaithful, the heresy charge. Now, Elizabeth I did something that was pretty darn smart. She hanged and quartered people for religious reasons. But the thing is, what she did was she said that those people committed treason. Now, treason is basically when you go against the nation, the state, or whatever it may be. Basically, you're going against them. So it'd be like somebody in the United States, a citizen, going against the United States. Um, Basically, trying to harm it, do things to it, to stop its progression, stop it from being um, the best country that it can be in the world. So the thing is, those people were not treasonous. These were basically people who practiced or were training to be priests, Catholic priests. And if people sheltered them, they kept them. Hey, you can stay here. We'll put you in the attic or basement or whatever. Those people were convicted and hanged and quartered as well. So the thing is, nobody really questioned it, or maybe they didn't want to question it because, again, it was people who were going to be Catholic, and these people were Protestants, right? So it was people opposite of them, people that they didn't like. And so when they said, "Oh, you know, they were hanged for treason," there were some people who were like, "Oh yeah, treason. Oh yeah, bad thing. That's too bad." And in reality, it was like, no, they didn't. They weren't going against the state. They were just basically one person was trying to be a priest, and somebody may have helped them and things like that. So here's the thing. Still to this day, people know who Bloody Mary is. They at least know the name. And a little weird fact is more people know about Bloody Mary, have heard the name Bloody Mary, than they have the Inquisition. And the Inquisition was an even more terrible thing based off religion. And if you should have remembered that from last semester. But that's a little fact. Okay. And it just goes to show you that some people, they hear something, they retain that. They may not have the facts, but something that sounds bad. So, oh, horrible. Bloody Mary has that urban myth, thing. But in reality, the Inquisition, something that was much more horrible and that was done to people, is forgotten, or it's not really mentioned all that much. Okay, so here is your midpoint question. Do you think Mary deserved to be called bloody or bloodthirsty? Or do you think she was a victim of people exaggeration or basically people ignoring the facts? That like her sister did worse to people, more to people. Her father did the same thing to people. So what do you think? Okay, so remember, this is an opinionated piece, but you need to support it. Okay, so there's the writing prompt on the bottom. I believe that Mary got that reputation because you think she deserved it. So do you think I believe that she got that reputation because explain why you think she got that reputation, and then do you think she deserved it? And from there on, you could put, I believe she deserved it. I don't believe she deserved it because, and then you can go off and explain it for yourself. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to another group. The thing is, there was a Spanish nobleman named Ignatius of Loyola, and he founded the Society of Jesus. Now, this group became known as the Jesuits, and they were recognized by Pope Paul III in 1540. Because the thing is, these guys, they took a vow of absolute obedience to the Pope. Okay, they whatever he says goes. All right, and there's a picture of Ignatius on the right there. And the thing is, these guys used to spread the word of the Catholic faith by education. All right, and they basically had missionary groups, and these guys worked wonders to restore the Catholicism around the world. That was their goal, to spread the Catholic faith around the world through education, creating missions, teaching people English, whatever language, Spanish, Latin, teaching them how to cultivate and grow things through knowledge, and then incorporate the faith into it. And that's how they spread the Catholic religion. Okay, so Pope Paul III, which is on the picture to your right, wanted to make a commission of church leaders to reform the church. He was like, you know what, things are going pretty bad. We're getting this bad name. We need to change things up because things are going pretty bad for us. We need to reform. So in March 1545, a group of cardinals, archbishops, bishops, abbots, theologians, they met off and on for 15 years discussing things. How can we make the faith better? How can we do things better for our religion? And they met in the city of Trent. Now, again, they met off and on for 15 years, and they finally came to an agreement. And they reaffirmed traditional Catholic teachings in opposition to the Protestant beliefs. They were like, you know what, we're doing fine. Our teachings are okay. They're not really saying anything bad. Okay, that's not what the people are upset about. Okay, it's not what we're saying; it's what we're doing. Right. Besides the teaching, our teaching is fine. The teaching of the Old Testament, the New Testament, things like that, it's fine. Um, and they reaffirmed that faith and good works, being a good person, doing good deeds, charity, things like that, basically equals salvation. That you can go to heaven if you have faith and you do good things. You are a good person. You are charitable. You go out of your way for people. That's the way to heaven. The other thing was they realized, hey, the seven sacraments, the Catholic view on the Eucharist and the celibacy were upheld of the clergy. So again, the priests could not get married. They kept that there. The only thing they changed was that selling indulgence. That, hey, if you pay $500, your grandma can go to heaven. I'll guarantee it. That went away. That went away. They were like, that's what people are upset about. So we're going to get rid of that. Okay. So that was the end of that part. Now, there is no final question. I was being very nice this day. So that's it for this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. Make sure that your name is on your notes. And when you go into class, turn in notes into the basket next to the door. Do not give it to me. Okay? All right, so that's the end of this lesson. Hope you have a good day. Take care. Be safe.